Hi, everybody. I'm immigration lawyer John Khosravi. Got jumped to the last show really quick. I wasn't expecting that, but good to catch up with you. I'm immigration lawyer John Khosravi, coming live every Tuesday, 5 p.m. Pacific time, where you take your questions about U.S. immigration live, and you do this since 2012, 4 years now. Always a good time. Tuesdays, days change every once in a while, but we're here for you. And just take your general questions on TikTok, LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, this and that, just all these different places, YouTube in particular. If you want increased chance of getting your questions talked about, posting on YouTube is best. My internet, which has always been a problem, this show might have gotten better. I just redid all the routers in the house. Right now, as we're talking, I'm trying to figure out why my microphone's not working. It's going on to default speakers, but default internal. How come it's not being recognized? Not that unplug it. Okay, for some reason my mic's not working, so hopefully the sound quality is good. But actually, I think I'm gonna fix it up. All right, now my voice should change into no, that's the wrong one again. Sorry, that's not it. Where is it? There should make my voice sound radio style, nice and warm. But anyways, we're taking your questions live. Start posting them. TikTok, we always get a million people asking questions, so it's really hard to keep track. Again, if you want to get try your best to get it answered, go to Instagram or YouTube. YouTube is probably better records there. Immigration system is might be changing a lot. They increased the fees as of yesterday a lot. And if the president changes, we're gonna have a lot of mixed stuff going on. So be prepared for that. Something to cause you to move your case forward faster. A reason to get on top of things if you haven't already, because things are gonna be changing dramatically in only a few more years. So get ready for that. I'm located in Los Angeles. We take cases from across the country. We have lawyers everywhere. Not technically everywhere, but all over the country. And we take cases from all over the country too. What's important for that is if you're interested in marriage visa or fiance case or something like that, down a guide we have is called the Ultimate Marriage Green Card Guide at the website marriageimmigrationlaw.com. You can download it there. It's marriageimmigrationlaw.com. And if you want to schedule a private consultation, email us at info@jqqlaw.com. Having said that, we got some questions coming in on YouTube. Sammy asks, my question is that I got with my partner. She's an American citizen. Can I go to America on a visitor visa or be going to a visa? We could, if you have a visa already, you could come and try to enter the United States. It's up to the officer at the airport, the customs officer, whether they're going to have a problem with it or not. So it's up to them. Usually they'll be okay, but it could be an issue. Andra says, how long are I-485 cases taking? There's like 40 different kinds of I-485 cases, and also varies depending on which field officer you're dealing with, not only which preference category or other or asylum or immediate relative category you're dealing with. So the information isn't enough, but even if I had all your information, how long things take there's no answer to that. Sam says, we're not together anymore, sir. I don't know what to tell you. Just if you have a tourist visa, you can visit, and it's up to the people at the customs office at the airport where they're going to let you in, or if they have any particular issues involved with that stuff. That's as much I can say here. But thank you for your question. Oh no, we have an issue. TikTok's going to cut out because I have daily limitations on TikTok because I watch too much TikTok, and I forget that sometimes it cuts in the middle of our show. So I'm going to log into my Stacko phone that's got for TikTok. The problem is I've got to charge it. So it's going to be a little bit of a weird situation right now, transitioning from one TikTok to another. But we'll take your questions live as it's happening. So, the big thing right now is that the filing fees for USCIS have increased pretty dramatically. And so what you got to prepare for that is, if you're doing a marriage adjustment or just any adjustment of status case, a green card in the United States, you now have to pay for the work authorization and the advanced parole, which is unfortunate because it's very expensive. It's going to add a lot of cost to your case. So you have to plan for this ahead of time. But the worst part about the new fee increase is not just the fee increase itself, how much it costs, but also how convoluted and complicated they made it to be able to find out what the fee is. So this is one problem we're prepping for, is a lot of people having their cases rejected or sent back for wrong fees because the new system is so confusing, frankly. So that's an issue that's happening right there. For friends that are watching on TikTok, I'll be back in a second loading it right now. We got a question. Andra follows up. I'm a U.S. citizen filing for parents. They came to a visitor visa. It's been 4 months since October of filing. It could be 1 month. It could be a year. It could be longer. Really, these cases probably will be another couple months, but it's really hard to say how long it's actually going to take. So be prepared for that issue from popping up. Let me take a quick look at Instagram, see if we got some questions there. Nope, going to go back to TikTok. Sorry for people who are watching on TikTok and just cut out, but we'll get it in right now. Let's go live on TikTok on my other backup phone. All right. See, Sammy follows up. My question is, my partner is from America. She's an American citizen. Okay. And we are separate. We're not together anymore. If I want to go to visit visa, But if I want to go to America on a B1, B2 visa, can I? Yeah, I said you could try. It's same. You give me all these facts, but the answer is still exactly the same. So I don't know what to tell you. Now, B or C user says, if a child enters on a green card at age 13, when can the child file for naturalization? If parents did not naturalize, will the child be able to apply for naturalization when the child turns 18? Yeah, the requirements are listed on Form N400. Let's see, to go live on this device. I'm trying to go live on TikTok, but it's telling me I'm live on my other phone, even though I cut out. So I'm not sure what's going on, but I think it's coming back. So if you're going to try to see how the age required for filing for citizenship, just go to Form N400, application for naturalization. That's a citizenship application on USCIS.gov. Sorry, wait for this live. Okay. And in the what's it called? In the instructions for the case, it does tell you how old you have to be able to file for citizenship. The typical situation that you're undergoing where a child has a green card and the parents are here, usually the parents get citizenship before the child because of age, and the child automatically becomes a citizen. They have to file for a separate certificate of citizenship, Form N600. Most people don't do it. They just get the passport, but the safest thing to do is to file for N600 and get a certificate of citizenship in addition to the passport. But yeah, the requirements are at least 18 years of age. So once they're 18, they could file for citizenship. That may be the solution you're looking for. Sean says, if you marry outside the U.S. to someone who's not from the U.S., can you file for divorce within the United States? That goes into family law. So you need to talk with the attorney in your home state that does family law, divorce and stuff. So they could look up the regulations to see if your state, the divorce will be recognized or not. But it was not appropriate to get advice from an immigration lawyer on that because they wouldn't properly know. Unless they, like, I'm a California lawyer. If I did family law and immigration law, I could advise on that, but I don't do family law at all. I'm going to focus on just one area of law, which is immigration. And you could easily contact the family lawyer to get that stuff going. Con says, hello, sir. I got my green card travel documents. Can I travel to neighbor country after granted? I don't know what you can do because I don't know anything about you and if you file your documents right. But generally, if a person has the proper travel documents, they can. But I don't know enough about you to be able to say, yeah, yes or no, and take responsibility for that answer. Bakir says, can I-130, my case returned to USCIS from embassy. USCIS issued RFE. I respond to RFE. In this time, can I apply for K3 visa? Do you think it'll be useful? No, K3 will be denied because you already have an approved I-130. What you should have done is not even waited for the RFE. If you had a lawyer, you would have known is just refile a new I-130 because when a case gets rejected by the embassy and sent back, it takes forever, years for it to process out. So these are the kind of information that save your life because you probably added a year worth of time doing what you're doing right now. If you could have just filed the I-130, got approved, and just reset everything. So these are kind of things where attorney, even if it's just the statement I made, would have saved you a year, which is, how much is a year worth now? If Prez says, is there a fee for renewal of VAWA EAD and how much? Probably not. I don't know the new fee structure. They changed things. Probably there's no fee, but April 1st, they changed all the fees and haven't memorized all of them. So go to USCIS.gov and then you can see what's going on there. Hashim says, hi, pretty sir, can I travel back to my home Saudi Arabia with advanced parole? And I had a marijuana charge 2013. I can't answer. That's too case specific about criminal issues and travel and such Saudi Arabia. This is something you need a private consultation with an attorney. Bahama says, hi, John. Thanks for being here. Long story short. Thank you, Bahama. Canadian citizen married to U.S. citizen. I-130 approved last September, waiting for I-824. I'm sorry about the I-824. It is 7 months. Can I switch adjustment of status EAD at this point? It's a good idea. Well, Bahama, I can't advise someone come to the United States with a temporary visa and then file adjustment status. I'm not permitted to make this kind of thing. Tourist visa is intended for temporary trips. So if you're coming here and then file for adjustment status with plan to do that, then that's problematic. You can't do that. But let's say you're here on tourist visa and your wife say, you know what, you can't leave anymore. I'm going to divorce you if you leave. I'm tired of being separate. And you're like, my wife's forcing me. What am I going to do? And that could change things up. But best to talk with the attorney in private. I'll plan this kind of stuff out. If you talk with the attorney ahead of time, you would avoid this I-240 issue. If not, if you talk with it, if you had a lawyer do it, because again, these little mistakes, the reason why you got the I-240, you probably didn't list which embassy you wanted to go to, or you listed somewhere in the U.S. by mistake. And now you're hit with an I-240, which hundreds of dollars there, but you're probably going to at least wait a year and a half to be able to continue your case. So you just add a year and a half away from your spouse. How much is that worth, But that's the scheduled private consultation. More detail on that. Sam says, thank you so much for your answer. Thanks. God bless you. You're welcome. Sean, we are answered that on, what's it called? Instagram. Let's go to TikTok and see what our friends are doing there. Oh, man, my memory is running out on my computer. A lot of stuff. I need a new computer. I need a tech person that works the office, which I don't have, hire to then deal with all this tech stuff that's just filling up my mind unnecessarily. Because this is going to be. Oh, we'll see what happens. Computer might crash in a gigabyte or two, so we'll see what happens. All right, so let's go back to questions on TikTok. So we got some questions about timelines as always. You can't really answer that because we don't have timeline answers. Con says, based on asylum I was granted, I have a green card and travel document. Can I travel to neighbor country? I think we answered that question already. It was a repeat. Okay. Sa says, how long does it take to receive a green card after receiving the certificate? I don't know what certificate you're talking about. There's no green card related to a certificate. I think, do you mean marriage certificate? Sassy, please explain your question in greater detail. IKY says, my husband's case I-130, it's been 18 months and I haven't gotten approval. Well, if you're a green card holder, then yeah, it's going to take probably 2 years to get the I-130 approval. If you're a U.S. citizen, right now things are backed up. 18 months, unfortunately, isn't that abnormal. Harper, he says, my vow was approved and USCIS issued me a RFE for my I-485. How long will it take for me to get a green card? There's no fixed timelines for these. Raven says, my boyfriend goes April 17th for his appointment for his travel visa. Any pointers? I'm not sure what you mean by travel visa. Do you mean a tourist visa? You just got to apply it. I don't know enough about it to give any pointers there. Just be honest. That's the main thing is to be honest. 2011 says, hello, when I filed the I-929, I'm not sure what I-929 is. What is a date of admission? I think class of admission, date of authorized stay, if unexpected. I mean, 20, these are things you should know. It's on your green card. Class of admission is the type of green card you have. Date of admission is listed as your issuance date. Date of authorized stay, if one is expected at the border. I'm not sure what that means and what kind of case you're doing. I never filed an I-929. Let me see if that's a form that I just don't do or something. I-929. But if you have a class, let's see. Petition for U visa. Oh, I haven't done 929 in 10 years. I don't do the U visas in my office. So, I can't answer this question per se because it's an individual case I can't help you handle your case on here. But we have another attorney firm that's U visas. I don't handle those myself. C says, so the 5-year time before age 18 counts for naturalization? Yes. Omar says, if you get work authorization, how long does it take for you to have a green card? There's no relationship between work authorization and getting the green card. Queenie says, hello, I'm married to U.S. citizen for 2 years. Is the I-765 a must? No, not unless you want it. Can you just do I-485 and I-130? Well, you also have to do an I-130A. You have to do an I-864. But the I-131 travel document, I-765, work permit not needed unless you want them. C user says, need a computer upgrade attorney. Yes, I do. That's in the timeline of summer to get a new computer. Sandra says, they gave my husband a pardon. What is next? Sandra, there's just so much more information. What do you mean by pardon? Well, the crimes that your husband committed, or do you mean a waiver for immigration purposes? So you got to schedule a private consultation is best. Elena says, do you think expedited request helps if it's proved? Yeah, I'm not sure you question if it's, yeah, I mean, I don't know what you mean by that. If you're trying to get a case faster and it gets it faster, that's help. I'm not sure what the question is. Okay, we got a bunch of questions on TikTok, so guys jump in and see what's going on because we got repeats too. Senior says, I've overstayed my visa. My mom, who is a green card holder, is fine for me. How long will it take? If you overstayed your visa, you might have problems. You might have bans on being able to get a green card. Shah says, can asylum, if I'm an ESTA originally from Pakistan, you can file for asylum with an ESTA. But Pakistan doesn't have ESTA. You probably have another citizenship. Are you working on EB5? No, we don't do EB5 cases anymore. Shah G says, oh, answer that. Someone says, file the I-130 2010. Will my family be able to come here? I don't know what category case it is. I don't know what country they're born in. There's just no way I can say. Plus, the timelines are unknown. F1 work permit under economic hardship. I'm not sure what the question is. Can I asylum if on SRH Pakistan? Yes, I answered that. Imam says, I responded to RFE to both my blah, blah. When you respond, there's no timelines I could help with. Sorry, just the timelines. That's it. I have I-130 approved and I-45 pending. I can reapply I-130 since less time. It's not necessarily less time, but it could be. So we always are, if people could afford it, we recommend doing an I-130 as well. Perez says, I went for I-45 interview in October, still pending. Sorry, I don't have anything to help with that. Alex says, I have a green card case. It's been 7 years. I haven't got anything. What can I do? I'm not sure what kind of green card case you have. It's taking 7 years. User 39 says, this kind of stuff, you got to schedule private consultation. So if I don't have an answer, it's because we got to sit and talk. User 39 says, I've made a mistake on my M400 and I have an interview coming next week. What do I do? Well, it depends on what the mistake is. And you can always talk about and fix at the interview, but I don't know what the mistake could be, something that's not fixable. I don't know. If you registered to vote when and voted, you're out of luck. So I don't know what to tell you. But if it's just you misspelled your name, you go there and fix it. It's not a big deal. Bless said, can interview day be esteemed to allow one to finish your school program before coming to the United States? It depends on what kind of case you have, what you're trying to do, and how you want to work with the embassy to postpone things. You don't really want to postpone anything, but there's just too much more information needed. So schedule a consultation, Blessed, so we can actually talk about details. Kelly says, married in September 2023, and we're applying for adjustment of status. Husband filed taxes single. Should we amend now? Yeah, it is better that you amend because you should have filed for married or whatever the taxes are. So it's better to amend. Student says, hello to you too. Be Kind says, what should I do to NBC taking a long time to schedule an interview from a husband that 10 months? NBC does not schedule interviews. It is the embassy that schedules them based on their availability. If there's a need, you can do expedites, but there's not much you can do. You just got to wait for the embassy for the most part. 100 says, can a child born in the U.S. but his parents are diplomats from other country, can a child be a citizen? No. If the child was born on a diplomat visa, essentially they're considered not being born here as everyone else would. They're still under the jurisdiction of their home country, so no, they won't be a citizen. This is a major issue. Faye says, I filled I-824 last year. I didn't get my answer. Yeah, you got to wait. The I-824 is a horrible form. How many says, where's your location? Which state? I'm in Los Angeles, California, but my location doesn't matter. All our consultations are done by video, and our communication with government are done by email, phone, fax, that kind of stuff. Alex, you work in Michigan? I work everywhere. We work all cases. Not all cases, but every location for the cases that we handle. Like, I'm not going to go to immigration court. We don't do immigration court. But if you're married to someone overseas and you want to get a green card, my location doesn't matter. It's just the brains and the operations that helps. Comrade says, what is the max time? There's no max time for any processing. Apple House says, I applied for VAWA in 2022, complete package, where there's no processing time. Kelly says, what if will the single file tax affect your application though if you don't amend it? In practice, I haven't seen it be a problem, but anything's possible. If you incorrectly file your paperwork, it could be used against you. So that's just what we got to go by. Zoeb says, hello. Kino says, my husband's I-131 is approved. If we travel to Canada, is there any risk of reentry? Is there any risk? Yeah, there's always a risk. The plane could go down, for all we know. But it's up to you if you want to take that risk. It's not worth it unless there's some urgent situation. Panda says, so it doesn't hurt to have a second I-130 after the first one is approved? No. Hamid says, thank you. You're welcome. Millennial says, pending asylum, a file for marriage petition. What to do with asylum app now? Once you get a green card, you notify the asylum office that you don't need to continue the asylum case. Zoeb says, I applied for VAWA, still waiting. I misspelled the city on my M400. Did not answer part 18 about taking an oath. You're not supposed to answer that last part. People always mistakenly fill that part out. It's not. If it's the part I'm thinking about, I can't remember what page 18. I think it's the part where it says you sign that you took the oath. You're not supposed to do that. People do that by mistake on their own. It's not supposed to happen. But yes, misspelling the name of the city. At this point, for interviews next week, just go tell them when you see them. Can you hand up your green card entry on JFK? Do you mean you want to give up your green card? It's possible you have to fill out a form, but you may be hit with tax consequences. So, don't make that decision too quickly. Alia says, I wonder if it could cause it to slow down processing. So there's this rumor that if you make an expedite request and they deny it, then what's going to happen is they're going to put your case in the back of the line again because they pulled the case out to look at it and they put it back to the end. I haven't corroborated this rumor. It's horrible if that's the case. But if you got a good expedite request, a good reason for it, it's worth trying out. But I don't know. That's just a rumor that says it makes it last longer. Bakir says, my I-130 is pending. I respond to RFE. Before is proof my I-130. Can I apply for humanitarian parole? I'm from Afghanistan. You can apply, but 20,000 people from Afghanistan are waiting, and a lot of them are getting denied on bogus stuff. So you always give it a shot, but I don't know what's going to happen. John Masters, one of the regulars. John, my wife was recently refused a tourist visa and told by interviewer that she must apply for a marriage visa. What are our options if you don't want to live in the USA? Catch-22. Yeah, I mean, if you're going to get a green card, you got to live here. I had this situation where people just want to come actually on tourist visas. They don't want a green card. But the embassy denies them and says, well, you're going to go in the United States and stay. And you're like, I don't want to stay. I just want to visit. So the embassy forces them to actually get a green card through a family relationship like yourself, just to be able to visit the United States. But then you got to live here. So you got a green card because the embassy forced you to, because they wouldn't give a tourist visa. But now you got a green card, and you don't want to stay. So it is a catch-22. But John Masters, be honest, in my practice, by the time your spouse is going to get the green card, because I remember you contacted where it's from, it's probably going to be at least 3 years if we're lucky. And by that time, a lot's going to change in the world. So just start it now. When 3 years will come, see what's life going on there. Even after you get the visa issued to come to the United States to get a green card, you could just don't spend over a year outside the United States. Even then, for the first couple of years, you could play cat and mouse for a bit. And it's not even cat and mouse. You got to transfer your life over. It's not something you immediately do. But imagine 3 years processing, another 2 years of figuring out what the life situation is. That's 5 years of time for you to figure it out. And if at the end of it you don't want to do, you don't have to. But I strongly recommend doing it. The world's going through constant upheaval in the next 5 years. having the option to bail out if you need to come to the United States or stuff is definitely worth it. Obviously, it costs a lot of money and headache, but from my experience, it's definitely worth it. And in 5 years' time, you figure out what you want to do. CU says, can you discuss humanitarian revalidation when the petitioner passes away? How does that work? Concept of adjustments. So it's called automatic revalidation. I don't do these cases because there's cases like humanitarian parole that I mentioned too, where the government gets the application and disappears for 4 or 5 years, and it's very stressful for the families. We try to do cases only that get done within like 18 months or something. But having said that, there's two aspects where someone starts a green card case for a family member and then passes away. If the foreign family member is in the United States at the time, there's a potential that they could do 214L. I can't remember. I don't do these cases. I don't remember, but it's a statute that says potentially they could replace somebody and fix it up, which is easier if the foreign person is in the United States. But if the foreign family member is outside, then you could do automatic validation, I think. But it's not clear how long it's going to take, who takes over, all that kind of stuff. But you'll need a family member who's a U.S. They have to file an affidavit of support and replace that person. So that's the gist of it. Again, it's not something I do myself, but that's just, it's there if a petitioner passed away in a family member case. John says, do you need a court case disposition in your home country if you had arrest? Is based on political opinion. Interview coming April 17th. You should have planned this a lot better. It's better to have disposition to show that it is political opinion. This could be held against you, but I don't know enough about your case. This is just unfortunately not easy. I can't answer this question. It's like too deep to be able to answer that question back here in Cemetery. So that's all I can say here. Let me switch it up to Instagram really quick. Instagram questions. My case status of I-130 has changed to sent to Department of State. How much time to embassy to respond? 2 to 6 weeks. If you don't respond that 6 week, contact NBC Research at state.gov, something at state.dos at state.gov or something like that. It's listed on the receipt notice, on the approval notice. CPA says, I'm a green card holder. I want to file I-130 for my wife abroad. What is the fee associated? How many other forms I can have to file with USCIS? I'm not sure what they mean by the second part, but if you want to talk about fees, email the office to schedule an intake or a consultation or something like that, CPA, and we can talk about that. There's a lot of things you got to know about. That process is drawn out. It's going to take like 4 or 5 years to get that out. So there's a lot more than just the fees that you got to know about in a case like that. Okay, Antonio says, can you hand up your green card? Okay, bro, your English is very fluent. Yes, it's the first language I spoke. So, I was born here. I'm born and raised American. Applesauce, would you recommend to do advanced parole? I mean, if you want to, I don't know you to recommend what's good for you, but I mean, depends on if you need it or not, whatever it is. Angela says, can a green card holder file for a status of adjustment for a spouse? The person applying for adjustment of status applies for on their own. So no, they can't file. The other person has to do it, but we got to see what's going on in your case. Bro says, are you Irani? Yes, my family's from Iran. Iranian. Shady says, my husband has an extension for a conditional green card. How long till he gets 10-year green card? I don't know. It's up to the government. Carlos says, can I pass my green card to my father if I got my green card through abandonment from my mother? I think you're talking about one of those SIGIS cases. When you do SIGIS, you kind of cut off parents. You're saying that there. And I don't do SIGIS cases, so I don't have an exact answer. I don't think you can. If I remember, I had a SIGIS case we were doing citizenship for, and the answer was no. But double check that with an attorney that does SIGIS cases. Usually an attorney that does this kind of case, that is like half of their caseload. So they really know it's better. We just don't do these kind of cases. So I'm not the best resource for that. And this is a person who's in the U.S., maybe came without permission, but the family's abandoned. There's no parents, and there's a special way to get your own guardianship in family court and then apply for the special juvenile status to get your green card. We just don't do those at our firm, so I don't know all the nuances of it. 100 says, can a diplomat child, after his parents come back to their homeland, can he apply for your citizenship? If the child, it doesn't have, I mean, it's the same as anyone else. So you go home, you got to get a reason to file for a green card. It's not like you just apply for citizenship. You got to do a bunch of stuff. So we don't know how you would base your citizenship on. So there's not enough information in that question to be able to answer that. Ankash says, hi, my I-130 was submitted recently. Now my address has changed and I'll be going for a passport update. What should I do? You just got to, the passport number doesn't make a difference, but you got to update USCIS with your address. C user says, thank you for information. Attorney, you're welcome. John Master says, regarding English language fluency, is it an issue that allow the pathway of marriage? It's not an issue for citizenship. Fluency is an issue, but they may ask, John, for citizenship and getting a U.S. passport. Yeah, it'll be a problem because for U.S. passport, you got to be able to have some basic English requirements. But for green card, doesn't make a difference, except that they ask at the interview. It's like, well, you're married to this foreign person, and how do you communicate with each other? So there are denials that happen because they think that you don't have the ability to communicate with each other. I doubt that's going to happen in your case because you're living together. It's obviously a real relationship. But for citizenship, that's where it pops up when they go into your language and stuff, and you got to be able to handle it. But most likely it'll be okay. Millennial says, what are your predictions for F2A? I don't have any predictions, unfortunately. I stay away from the predictions area. Scrooge says, I have a green card and I have a travel visa, re-entry. Can I travel to Australia? Do I need anything? We need your green card, re-entry permit, but I mean, just that's Australia rules. I can't really talk about Australian immigration law, but for returning to the United States, you got to not do immigration violations, which is a lot of different things. And so we got to sit and talk and see if you did any of them, but just need your green card and your passport. Antonio says, can I give up my green card at airport? Would they issue a tourist visa? It's up to their discretion whether they would issue a tourist visa. 100C, can diplomats already answer this question 10 different ways? Can you use a green card for I-9? Yes, but you'll need other stuff. You need your social security card, a green card, and maybe like a driver's license ID or something. The I-9 verification paperwork has it. Just go online and it'll be listed there. Ankash says, thanks for answering. Should I update USCIS so my I-130 approval is pending? Or change passport during MVC stage? Your passport information doesn't make a difference, so I wouldn't bother updating that. But if your case is still pending with USCIS, you have to make an address update. If it's done with USCIS, don't bother. Just have the new address information in the MVC paperwork. C user follows up. If the parent and grandparent has not spent 5 years of residence in the U.S. after age of 14, how can they sponsor child-grandchild? Is the residence required continuous? It's not continuous, but you need to have the minimum physical days added together. And it could be anytime. It could be even before they become citizens. But in this kind of case, it's going to be annoying. But the parent has to file for a green card for the child, then move with the child to the U.S., live here, reside here with the child, the U.S. citizen, the parent, for at least 3 to 6 months to be safe and have evidence of residing here in the U.S. Then the child would apply for a passport, Form N-600, certificate of citizenship, and that'll hopefully save him for the future. 29 Super C, one of our regulars for years now. Good to see you again. Hope you're doing well, brother. Hope you like life in the U.S. But good to see you. Good to see you. I haven't saw your name here in a while. John Masters, thank you, John. I plan to do the intake soon. Take care. God bless, John. Bakir says, I'm from Afghanistan, Tajikistan. I have a United Nations card. I'm a refugee. Does USMC give me an interview for I-130? Do I need a Tajik visa? When you're from Afghanistan, you're an orphan embassy, so you can potentially go to any embassy. The problem is the language requirement because you got to talk with the officer. In Tajikistan, they speak Farsi. So if you speak Dari as close, you probably get it. At least Tajiks have their own form of Farsi, but it's possible to do your because you're Afghan, you can do your embassy in Tajikistan. It's possible, yeah. Alex says, "Sir, my love is from U.S. and in U.S. and I'm from Pakistan, living in UAE. The question is, can we married online? Things are possible, back, but we got to sit and talk. Download my guide, marriageimmigrationlaw.com. If you got married online, you still got to see each other to make the marriage valid for U.S. purposes. But then there's a bunch of other stuff you have to do. Akansha says, can an employer apply for H-1B while F-2A is pending? Yes. Jovan says, how long after receiving the I-765 approval for work permit is the green card emailed? The card get produced and mailed out a week or two, but doesn't always gets lost. Sometimes it takes a while. It's all over the place. C user, wow, thank you for in-depth response, sir. You're welcome, C user. God bless you. Let's switch to Instagram really quick, see if we got some questions there. Thank you for information. I overstayed my tourist visa. I won the DVC lottery. Is it possible to adjust? Unfortunately, if you overstay a tourist visa, you can't adjust status. You should have left to do consular processing if you overstayed less than 6 months. My husband is a U.S. citizen. Will my interview date be subject to visa bulletin? No, you're an immediate relative. I overstayed my tourist visa. Why don't we answer that? We answer the diplomat question. Okay, let me get a couple more questions on TikTok and call it a day. Oh, wow, we have 56 questions. Let's go to the last one. Yona says, please talk about the EB3 on skilled worker. We don't focus on perm, so I can't really handle that. We do self-petitions like national interest waivers, EB1 extraordinary ability, O1 visas, which are partially self-petitioning, E2 investors starting on business, L1 investors starting on business. We like working with people who control that situation themselves rather than the employer for the most part. I guess let's answer one more question. Dino says, how can I sponsor my mom? She's in Peru and has a tourist visa. I'm a citizen married with a citizen. You just got to get the process started, Dino. So schedule a consultation with the office. Just go to our website, jqqlaw.com, fill out the information on the contact page, and we can take the rest from there. I guess that's it for today. See you all next week, Tuesday, 5 p.m. Pacific. I'm immigration lawyer John Khosravi. Come for your live for individual-based guidance, just talking general information about U.S. immigration on all these different platforms. Again, if you want to contact us, just go to our website and go to our contact us page, fill it out, jqqlaw.com/contact. I think that's what it is. Until next one, God bless, be safe, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.